The year was 2037, and the world had grown quiet after the last Great War. Humanity's eyes, weary from conflict, turned upward, to the stars, and downward, into the untouched corners of its own planet. That's when the Antarctic Expedition 12 picked up a signal. It wasn't radio noise. It wasn't geological interference. It was a pattern, a low-frequency pulse repeating every 23 seconds, too perfect to be natural. And it was coming from 3 kilometers beneath the ice. Dr. Elena Vargas, a geophysicist from Chile, was the first to notice the anomaly. She stared at the spectrogram on her screen, a slow chill crawling up her spine. "This isn't seismic," she whispered. "It's communicating." Her colleague, Captain Richard Hales, laughed nervously. Maybe it's the Russians playing with sonar again. But as the team drilled deeper into the frozen crust, the pattern grew louder. Then came something impossible. The ice melted itself around the drill, forming a perfect circle. The metal bore snapped in half, not from pressure, but as if something beneath had cut it clean. They lowered a thermal camera into the opening. The feed came through blurry at first, just blackness, then fog, then a faint glow. The team fell silent as the camera panned down into what looked like a massive metallic surface buried under the ice. It was smooth, seamless, and carved into it was a symbol that none of them had ever seen before. A perfect spiral made of intersecting lines. Pulsing faintly like a heartbeat, Elena leaned closer to the monitor, whispering, "It's alive." By the next morning, word reached the United Global Science Council, and the site was classified. Every transmission from the Antarctic base was cut. All 7 members of Expedition 12 were ordered to stay inside their facility until further notice. But Elena refused to wait. She accessed the encrypted satellite uplink at 2:47 a.m., downloading every bit of data they'd gathered. When she zoomed in on the spiral symbol, she noticed something chilling. The pattern matched a petroglyph found in Atacama, Chile. Dating back over 12,000 years, a carving made long before Antarctica was even discovered. "How is that possible?" she murmured. Her pulse quickened. That's when her radio hissed to life. A distorted voice crackled through the static. "Stop digging!" Elena froze. "Who is this?" "They're not sleeping anymore." The transmission cut. Hours later, the base's power flickered out. The emergency lights went red. From beneath the ice, the pulse grew stronger, so loud that the ground itself vibrated. Hales ran into the control room. "Elena, what did you do?" "I didn't do anything," she shouted back. "It's reacting to something, maybe to us." The lights dimmed again, and a beam of blue light erupted from the ice, splitting the sky like a blade. The snow melted in a perfect circle around the drill site. The team rushed outside, their eyes wide in disbelief. Below them, the glacier had split open to reveal a metallic structure the size of a cathedral, a perfect oval buried in the frozen earth, humming with alien energy. The spiral symbol glowed brighter now, and as Elena stepped closer, the pulse slowed, matching her heartbeat. "It's scanning me," she whispered. She reached out her hand, and the ground collapsed. She fell through the ice into darkness. When she opened her eyes, she was lying in a corridor. Metal walls curved in every direction, glimmering faintly under a soft blue light. No snow, no cold. Just stillness. "Elena to base. Do you copy?" Only static. She stood, her breath catching in her throat as she saw shapes moving ahead. Silhouettes. They were humanoid, tall and slender, their skin like liquid mercury. Each had the same spiral symbol embedded in its chest, pulsing with faint light. They stopped moving. One turned toward her, and in a voice that wasn't spoken but felt inside her mind, it said, "You've returned." Elena's heart stopped. "Returned? I've never been here before." "You have forgotten," the being replied. "But we remember." The floor beneath her shimmered like water, revealing a vast chamber below. A city of impossible architecture frozen beneath the ice, stretching as far as she could see. It was ancient, beautiful, and unmistakably human. "Who are you?" she whispered. The being stepped closer. "We are the hidden ones, and you are our echo." The light pulsed once more, and everything went dark. When Elena woke again, she was back inside the Antarctic base. Her clothes were soaked, her body trembling, but the floor was warm, too warm for a place buried under miles of ice. The power was back on. The hum of generators filled the halls. Yet something was off. The base was empty. "Elena to base," she called into her radio. "Captain Hales? Dr. Mbeki? Anyone?" Only silence replied. She staggered toward the control room. Every monitor was frozen on the same image, the spiral symbol, now red instead of blue, rotating slowly as though alive. Then a robotic voice echoed through the speakers. "Awakening protocol. Phase 1 complete." Her blood ran cold. "Protocol? What protocol?" The voice didn't answer. Instead, one of the monitors flickered and displayed something unexpected. A video transmission, time-stamped 27 minutes in the future. On the screen was her own face. She looked older, tired, terrified. "If you're watching this, it's already begun," her future self said, eyes darting nervously. "They're not from another world, Elena. They're from ours. And the ice wasn't hiding them. It was holding them back." The feed cut. She ran outside, gasping as she saw the sky above the crater. The aurora had changed color. Flashes of crimson and gold twisted in patterns like circuitry, dancing in perfect synchronization with the spiral symbol. Then she saw them. Silhouettes rising from the ice. Not all at once, one by one, like figures stepping out of fog, the hidden ones. Each stood motionless, tall and silver-skinned, their features smooth and expressionless. Their eyes shimmered like liquid mirrors, and then, as if obeying some silent command, they all turned toward the horizon. Elena followed their gaze. In the distance, the world's largest research station, McMurdo Base, was glowing. Streams of red light connected the station to the alien structure beneath her feet, pulsing in rhythm. Something enormous was awakening. Thousands of miles away, in a secure facility under the Pentagon, Director Marcus Keene of the Global Observation Command slammed his fist on the table. "Cut the feed!" he barked. "Now!" The satellite footage showed exactly what he feared, a beam of light erupting from the South Pole, reaching into orbit. His analysts had already detected it bouncing off multiple satellites, forming a global network of unknown energy signatures. "It's activating the old grids," said Dr. Rourke, one of the scientists monitoring the feed. "Old grids?" Keene frowned. "What grids?" Rourke turned her screen toward him. "The magnetic anomalies around ancient sites, Giza, Nazca, Mohenjo-Daro, Teotihuacan, they're all lighting up. In perfect sync with Antarctica." The director went pale. "That's impossible." "No, sir," Rourke said quietly. "It's designed. Someone, or something, built this a long time ago." Back in Antarctica, Elena stood at the edge of the glowing crater, her heart pounding. Her smartwatch beeped, a signal. She looked down. The screen displayed new coordinates, updating in real time. It was sending her somewhere. Not north, not toward civilization, but deeper beneath the ice. She hesitated. Then the ground trembled. Cracks spread outward in every direction as if the glacier itself were alive. A low hum resonated in her chest, the same rhythm as her heartbeat. She remembered what the being had told her. "You are our echo." "Echo," she whispered. "Does that mean descendant?" She turned on her headlamp and stepped into the tunnel forming beneath the base. The walls were smooth metal, engraved with the same spiral pattern repeating endlessly. Each pulse of light illuminated carvings, humans, drawn alongside tall silver beings working together. Her mind reeled. They built this together. Then she reached a door. Not mechanical, organic. It opened like a breathing lung when she touched it. Inside, the chamber was vast. In the center stood a crystalline structure, suspended in midair, rotating slowly. Inside the crystal, she could see a human figure floating in perfect stillness. A whisper filled the chamber. "Elena Vargas, genetic signature confirmed." She froze. What are you talking about?" "You carry the seed line. The Echo Project must resume." Her hands shook. "Project? What project?" "You are the bridge between the lost and the living." The awakening requires your blood. The crystal began to descend toward her, its surface glowing hotter. She stumbled back, her radio screaming with static. Through the noise, she heard a voice, Hales. Elena, don't let it touch you. They're not what they seem. Hales? Where are you? They're using your DNA to unlock something. Leave now before... A deafening pulse cut him off. The walls flashed white. When the light cleared, Elena saw the impossible, her own reflection standing across from her, identical in every detail, but dressed in metallic armor, eyes glowing faint blue. You shouldn't have come back, her double said. The awakening will erase the world you know. And with that, the chamber went dark again. The world above was already changing. Satellite networks blinked in and out of existence. Communications failed, and strange auroras appeared over continents that had never seen them before. But under the Antarctic ice, Dr. Elena Vargas stood face to face with something far more terrifying, herself. Her double's voice was calm, almost mechanical. Your memories are fragmented, it said. You were designed to forget to live among them. That was the only way humanity could evolve. Elena took a step back, heart racing. Who are you? I am your origin. The template. The first generation of the Echo line. My origin? The double tilted its head slightly, eyes glowing brighter. 50,000 years ago, when Earth was dying, we, the architects, transferred our consciousness into a hybrid species capable of surviving the planet's rebirth. You call them humans? Elena shook her head violently. No, that's insane. Is it? You carry our code in every cell. Your DNA is the key that binds the two halves of creation, the biological and the engineered. Elena's mind reeled. You're saying humans are just an extension of us, a continuation. She felt her knees weaken. Then what is the Echo Project? The double turned toward the crystal structure floating nearby. Inside it, the sleeping figure began to stir. It was meant to reactivate the connection between us, to prepare Earth for the return. Return of what? Of the architects. Meanwhile, in the Pentagon, Director Marcus Keene and Dr. Rourke watched as energy readings around the planet surged beyond measurable limits. Cities experienced simultaneous electromagnetic pulses. Compasses spun uncontrollably. The pattern is planetary, Rourke said, zooming in on the global data. It's not random, it's orchestration. They're forming a network across the magnetic poles. Keene's voice trembled. Are you telling me someone is rewriting the Earth's magnetic field? Rourke nodded. Not someone, sir, something. Then the live feed flickered and a new image appeared. A woman, standing in a glowing chamber under Antarctica. Her name tag visible. Dr. Elena Vargas. Who's transmitting this? Keene demanded. Rourke's face went pale. No one, sir. This is a live feed from an offline zone. They watched as the figure of Elena spoke to her double. Every word, every pulse, transmitted across global satellites. And at that exact moment, something extraordinary happened. Millions of humans around the world began hearing a faint sound. A pulse. A heartbeat that wasn't theirs. Elena tried to fight the panic rising inside her. If we're your continuation, why now? Why wake up after all this time? Because you were never meant to forget, her double said. But you did. You built myths to explain us. God's angels, sky beings. You turned your creators into stories. Now the stories are waking up. Elena's hands trembled. If you're telling the truth, what happens when they return? Then humanity ends. The words hit her like a physical blow. She stumbled backward, grabbing a fallen metal shard. No, I won't let you destroy us. Her double smiled faintly, almost sadly. You can't destroy what you are. The chamber began to shake. The crystal in the center cracked, beams of energy shooting in all directions. From deep below, a mechanical rumble echoed. Something massive was rising. The double spoke again, voice layered with echoes of many others. The awakening protocol has reached phase 2. Global synchronization at 70%. Elena Vargas, the voice continued. Your choice will determine the fate of both species. What choice? She shouted. The floor opened beneath the crystal, revealing a colossal sphere, metallic and covered in glowing lines of script. It looked like a planet's core, but artificial. This is the heart of the Echo. It holds the combined memories of both our kinds. You can merge with it, or destroy it. If I merge, she said shakily, what happens? The architects will return and humanity will become one with them again. No more pain, no more separation. And if I destroy it, then the cycle ends, forever. The walls pulsed red. The choice was hers. Above ground, chaos erupted. Power grids failed worldwide. The northern lights burned blood red over cities from Moscow to New York. And in the sky, strange geometric shapes began to appear, massive constructs half visible. Flickering in and out like holograms, across the world, people dropped to their knees as voices whispered in unison inside their heads, "The return is near." At that same instant, Elena's name appeared on every government screen. Every encrypted channel showed one line of text, Subject EV-01, key activated. Director Keene slammed his fist down. Evacuate the southern pole. If that device activates, it could rewrite the planet's magnetic core. Rourke shook her head. Sir, it's too late. The activation sequence is self-sustaining. Keene looked helplessly at the satellite feed. Then God help us all. Inside the chamber, Elena's breathing quickened. The heart of the echo floated before her, humming with infinite energy. Her double extended a hand. Join us and ascend beyond the flesh. See what your kind was meant to become. Elena stared at her reflection. Then she thought of the world above, of her family, her home, the millions of humans who had no idea what was coming. She raised the metal shard and pressed it to her palm. Blood dripped onto the floor. The symbol on the walls reacted instantly, glowing brighter. The chamber's voice roared, "Manual override detected." Containment breach in 10 seconds. Her double's calm shattered. "What are you doing?" Elena glared at her. "Reminding you that we may be your echoes, but we are human." She slammed her hand onto the heart. The world exploded in light. When the light faded, silence returned. Elena was gone. The chamber was empty. The crystal shattered into a million fragments, floating like dust in zero gravity. But across the globe, every human who had heard the pulse stopped. For one brief moment, their eyes turned silver, and then, as one, they whispered, "The final phase has begun." The world changed in a single heartbeat. Cities went silent. Power grids collapsed. Every digital screen on Earth lit up with the same symbol, the spiral, spinning slowly as if waiting for something. People everywhere stared at it, transfixed. Some screamed. Others fell to their knees. And then, from deep beneath the ice, the final signal pulsed through the planet's magnetic field. The return had begun. In orbit, satellites recorded something forming in the upper atmosphere. Not a ship. A structure, vast, translucent, spanning hundreds of miles. Its geometry defied logic, folding in and out of visibility like space itself was being rewritten. Inside the Pentagon, alarms blared. Director Marcus Keene stood before the giant screen showing the event. Dr. Rourke's voice trembled. "The energy readings are off the charts. Whatever Elena activated, it's rewriting the sky." Keene clenched his jaw. "What does that even mean?" Rourke zoomed in on the image. "It means space and time are merging. The architects aren't coming from somewhere. They're coming back into phase. They've been here all along, just outside our frequency," Keene whispered. "God help us." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Elena Vargas floated in a void of blinding white light. Her body felt weightless, her heartbeat faint. She could hear whispers, millions of them, overlapping, calling her name. "Elena! Elena!" Then, silence. She opened her eyes and found herself standing in a vast city, the one she had glimpsed before, now alive. Skyscrapers of light stretched into infinity, and figures of silver and crystal moved gracefully through the air. But they weren't aliens anymore. They looked human. Or perhaps, she thought, we look like them. One of them approached, tall, calm, with eyes that shimmered like stars. "You made your choice," it said. "You stopped the awakening." Elena looked around, confused. "Am I dead?" "No, you are between." "Between what?" "Between what was and what could be." The being raised its hand and the air shimmered. Suddenly, scenes appeared around her. Images of ancient Earth, cities that predated history, humans and architects working side by side, building wonders lost to time. "We were never gods," it said. "We were caretakers. We gave you the spark, consciousness, memory, the will to question. But in giving you choice, we doomed ourselves," Elena frowned. "Then why return now?" "Because your species has reached the point where memory and creation converge. You built machines that can think, networks that connect all minds. You've begun to resemble us again. The cycle completes itself." She took a step forward. "So what happens if the cycle completes? Then you cease to be human. You become what we were, a single collective mind. No pain, no fear. But no individuality." Elena's chest tightened. "That's not living. That's control." The being tilted its head. "And yet your world suffers because of individuality. War, greed, hate. Is this freedom worth your destruction?" Elena hesitated. "Yes, because it's ours." The being smiled sadly. "You sound like the first of us, the one who broke away." "What do you mean?" "There was one architect who disagreed with the plan to merge again. He believed that separation was necessary for evolution. That architect carried our DNA to the surface and seeded your kind. His name was Aelthar." The air shimmered again, showing an image. A tall silver figure standing beneath a stormy sky, holding a small glowing orb in his hands. "You call him Prometheus," Elena's breath caught. "So the myths were true?" "Fragments of truth," the being said. "Now the cycle repeats, and you must decide which path your kind will follow." Back on the surface, chaos had erupted worldwide. The sky was fracturing, and not physically, but visually, like glass cracking between realities. Across the planet, people reported seeing cities in the clouds, shapes moving in the oceans, whispers in the wind. The architects were phasing in. Every government scrambled to respond, but weapons were useless. No bullets, no missiles. No EMPs could stop what wasn't fully there. In one final act of desperation, Director Keene sent a global broadcast. "To whoever can hear this, we have one of them down there. Dr. Elena Vargas. If there's any chance she can stop this. Elena, we're counting on you." Inside the light, Elena looked up as the being extended a hand toward her. "Join us and end their suffering. You have the power now. You are both human and architect. The perfect bridge. Become the convergence," she hesitated. "And if I refuse? Then you doom both worlds. The separation will collapse. The Earth's core will destabilize. All will fade." Elena closed her eyes. She felt the pulse again, not from outside, but inside her. The same rhythm that had called her from the ice. She thought of the people she loved, the world she knew, and the flawed, beautiful chaos of humanity. She took a deep breath and smiled. "Then maybe it's time we stop being echoes," she said softly, "and start being the voice." She raised her hand. The pulse grew louder, blinding white light filling everything. For 3 full minutes, the entire planet went silent. Then, the sky cleared, the auroras vanished. The geometric structures dissolved. Satellites came back online. And for the first time in history, the magnetic poles reversed direction. Scientists called it impossible. But everywhere, people woke from the trance feeling. Different. More aware. More connected. As if some invisible thread had woven through their minds, linking them for a fleeting second, and then let go. In Antarctica, the crater was gone. Where the ice had melted, there was only solid ground, smooth, black, and unbroken. No sign of Elena. No trace of the structure. Just one thing left behind, a spiral, carved perfectly into the stone. Inside it, a single line of text burned faintly in light. "We chose to remain human.